You've mapped the network. You know what's running. Now it's time to use that knowledge. In this episode, we fire Metasploit, send a payload, and catch our first shell on a vulnerable machine. From 0 to UID equals 0 root, in 3 commands. Before we go any further, everything in this episode runs inside an isolated lab. Metasploitable 2 is a deliberately vulnerable virtual machine built for exactly this purpose. Exploiting systems you do not own, or don't have written authorization for, is illegal. We're here to learn, on authorized targets, only. Metasploit is the world's most widely used penetration testing framework. It ships with over 2,000 exploit modules, 500 payloads, and hundreds of post-exploitation tools. The entry point is msfconsole, your interactive command center. The core workflow is search, use, show options, set, and run. Search finds modules. Use loads 1. Show options reveals what you need to configure. Set assigns values to those options. And run fires the exploit. That's the entire loop. People confuse exploits and payloads. They're different things. The exploit is the delivery mechanism. It abuses a vulnerability to get code execution on the target. The payload is what that code actually does once it's running. Think of the exploit as the door breaker, and the payload as the person who walks through. The most powerful payload in Metasploit is Meterpreter. It runs entirely in memory, never writes to disk, communicates over an encrypted channel, and gives you a full interactive session with dozens of built-in commands. If you get a Meterpreter shell, you have serious capability on that machine. Let's pop our first shell. The target is Metasploitable 2 running vsftpd 2.3.4. This version contains a backdoor that was planted by an attacker who compromised the software distribution server back in 2011. The backdoor opens a root shell on port 6200 when it sees a username containing a smiley face. In msfconsole, search vsftpd. The module appears. Use 0 to load it. Set RHOSTS to your target IP. Type run. Within 2 seconds the module connects, triggers the backdoor, and a command shell session opens. Type ID. The response, UID equals 0, root. You're in. Now let's look at the Meterpreter command set. Once you have a Meterpreter session, you can run sysinfo for OS and hostname, getuid to confirm your privilege level, shell to drop into the native OS terminal, hashdump to extract password hashes, and upload or download to move files between your machine and the target. Session management is critical. Every active shell is tracked by Metasploit as a numbered session. Background sends you back to the msfconsole prompt without closing the shell. Sessions list shows all active sessions. Sessions interactive followed by a number reconnects you. Kill msfconsole, and you lose all sessions permanently. Let's exploit a second service. Metasploitable also runs Samba version 3.0.20. There's a username map script vulnerability in this version that allows unauthenticated remote code execution. The CVE is 2007 to 2447. It's been known for almost 20 years and is still found in unpatched environments. This time we'll use a Meterpreter payload explicitly. Search user map script, use the module, set payload to Linux x86 Meterpreter reverse TCP, set RHOSTS and LOST, then run. Metasploit negotiates the reverse connection, and a Meterpreter session opens. Getuid returns root. 2 different paths, same result. With a shell open, the first move is network recon. Run ARP to see other hosts the machine knows about. Run route to see the routing table and understand what networks this machine can reach. Run netstat to see active connections and what services are listening. This is how you map the internal network from inside a compromised host. The second move is evidence capture. Every penetration test requires documentation. Run sysinfo and save the output. Run getuid. Take a screenshot with the Meterpreter screenshot command. Log the session number, the module used, the payload type, and timestamps. A finding without evidence is not a finding. You've now completed the exploitation phase of the kill chain. Recon, scanning, enumeration, vulnerability analysis, and now active exploitation. That's 5 phases down. Next episode, we move to web application hacking with Burp Suite, SQL injection, and cross-site scripting against DVWA. One final reminder. These techniques are standard OSCP, PNPT, and CEH curriculum. They are used every day by professional penetration testers. What makes the difference between a professional and a criminal is authorization. Written authorization, defined scope, defined timing. If you don't have that, don't touch it. Your lab exercise, spin up Metasploitable 2 in VirtualBox or VMware, set it to host-only networking, and pop both vsftpd and Samba. Get a Meterpreter session on each. Run sysinfo and getuid on both. Post your UID equals 0 output in the comments. Subscribe so you don't miss web app hacking in episode 8.